Marfoogle News going live in 3, 2. All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, aka Marf, and let's get right into it. We are going to go over some of the important stories of today in the last 24 hours. China's stranded astronauts are safe for now, but how will they get home? I'm not going to go too much into this. Obviously, something happened here previously when this story first broke. Obviously, these Chinese astronauts, something hit or a piece of debris hit their way home, and they are stuck there. I mean, it's straight out of a plot out of a movie, right? I think Gravity was one of the movies that kind of went along this plot line. But again, there are 6 people living on the Chinese space station, Tiangong, at the moment, and the plan to bring 3 of them back is in progress. They, of course, had some sort of debris hit. And my question was, was this sabotage? Was this something on the U.S.'s end? I don't see too many people asking that question. Obviously, there is a lot of tit for tats happening. This is, according to military members, including and according to the actual Chinese government, this is part of their defense. The Tiangong system is part of their national security. So whatever the heck they're doing up there, I'm sure it's not just planting plants and, experimenting rolling eggs. So whatever's going on here, I just wonder if this was some sort of, accident that was made to happen. Whatever is happening here, I'm betting that, we might even see that Elon is asked, or people call on Elon to help these folks. China's Tiangong, which spans 180 feet, typically hosts a crew of 3 astronauts in 6-month stints. A new 3-person crew arrived at the space station to take over from the stranded astronauts in October. But because of space debris emergency, both crews remain on board. While unusual, the station is designed to support 2 crews in orbit simultaneously. Because the question was, now that there's twice as many people there, are they going to be able to survive? Apparently, that was thought of. I don't know. Something about this, I have big questions. Now, when they put this thing up in space, it really wasn't talked about a lot. You don't hear about the U.S. talking too much about this this Chinese space station. Other than this story, we haven't heard much. And it's kind of crazy. You almost think, is it even up there, right? Well, as far as this goes, this was the 3 rockets that everybody watched and tracked. Those 3 big-ass rockets that they ended up having the one part of it come down and it possibly could have hit America. That was them putting the 3 parts of this station up. Now they have a fully fledged space station up there, and we as civilians really don't know what the hell it does. So again, lots of questions. We'll cover it as it goes along. All right, now before we move on, I do want to remind you guys, make sure to go check out our website. You have a full bibliography, every single article, tweet, video, picture, document there. Again, you have tons and tons of great stuff over there. You, of course, also have the bibliography with every single article, tweet, video, picture, document there as well. All right, so now, we'll just go in and you can actually see this is today's show. We're going to go into the next piece, which is Iran is ramping up missile production. Let's bring in my co/internet brother, Dex James. What is going on and how are you doing today?
Hello, Adam, and hello, Fugle fam. I'm doing just fine.
So why don't you talk about Iran ramping up missile production and another potential war with Israel?
Sure, Iran states it has more missiles now than it had during the 12-day war with Israel. While the accuracy of that claim is questionable, experts who follow Tehran's missile program say the country has ramped up production in an effort to have its arsenal ready to overwhelm Israeli missile defenses again. So remember, those were degraded during the war, both sides actually. The Israeli missile defense lost a lot of ammunition, and the missiles that Iran had were struck pretty hard as well. So there's, potentially growing concerns about the new conflict over their nuclear program. Of course, they said their nuclear program wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. They tried to downplay the destruction, even though there was some significant destruction to it. But we all saw that they tried to pull as much as they could out of those locations before the strikes happened. But Iran's defense production has improved both in quantity and quality compared to before the 12-day Israeli-imposed war, according to Brigadier General Aziz Nasrandin. So, I guess they're not building these missiles because they think they're in a time of peace. They're building these missiles, and they say directly for going after Israel.
Yeah, absolutely nuts. As far as everything that has been happening here has been just nuts. And then we have to talk about Venezuela announces massive mobilization of military forces as America's largest warship sails into the region. So this is something where you have to pay attention to both sides of this story, because we've actually gotten many of the parts of this story from Venezuela and from other countries, because the US obviously has an angle here that we're avoiding Congress right now to go to war in this instance. And of course, us pulling up on this thing and launching any kind of offensive is a big deal. But because the president, Maduro, is actually attached to this terrorist threat, and they've basically formally made him part of this terrorist organization, they can skip all of that. Venezuela says it is launching a massive mobilization of military personnel, weapons, and equipment in response to the buildup of U.S. warships and troops in the Caribbean Sea. Land, air, naval, and reserve forces will carry out exercises through Wednesday, according to Defense Minister Vladimir Pedrino Lopez. In addition to regular military units, the exercise will involve the Bolivarian military, or militia, a reserve force made up of civilians that was created by the late President Hugo Chavez, and is named after Simon Bolivar, the revolutionary who secured the independence of numerous Latin American countries from Spain. So this is something where, you're obviously looking for some sort of big act here. What is Act 2? Is it an actual attack on Venezuela? We have all of these warships. We now have a carrier strike groups. And of course, they say that there are submarines along with these too. You're talking about anywhere from 12 to 16 of our huge, deathly, sea vehicles over there. And it's about to go south if we're not careful. All right. And then, Dex, do you want to talk about India? Probes the deadly Delhi blast and vows responsible will face justice.
Yeah, certainly. So this is kind of a big deal in the sense that this could trigger something, especially when it comes to who's responsible for it. So the India's defense minister avowed on Tuesday that those responsible for the car explosion in the heart of the capital that took out about 8 people are going to face justice. So Monday's blast, if confirmed as an attack, would be the first significant security incident since April 22nd, when 26 mainly Hindu civilians were taken out in a tourist site in Pahalgam, that the Indian-administered Kashmir triggered the clashes between them and Pakistan. So if you remember the little mini war that went on between them and Pakistan, which was Pakistan backed by China, and India fighting and trying to take down planes from one another, and how successful China said their planes were against India's military. So all of that went down all because of the same type of incident. So could this start up again? Could this be, when they find out who's responsible, could this be another event that turns the clash back, a hot war, so to speak, back on with Pakistan or someone else?
Some are worried that this could go nuclear. Obviously, these are 2 nuclear nations. Pakistan and India are both at each other's throats right now. This is something that we will be following. What if, just hypothetically, instead of the places we think we would see the first tactical nuke being used, what if we saw Pakistan have a tactical nuke go off in the middle of their city or something like that? That would be a horrid event, and we hope that never happens. But these countries are obviously, not getting along right now. As far as that previous event, there was possible evidence that, other countries were involved. We, after 3 days, gave them some sort of information. The U.S. gave India information that stopped their war in its tracks. Was that, hey, somebody else is gaslighting you two? Here's evidence that somebody did that event or paid for it, whatever. I don't know. But what I do know is it is a scary scenario when you have 2 nuclear nations that actually aren't afraid to go to war with each other, at each other's throats. All right, and then we have so much more over on the website to make sure to go check out, of course. And make sure to, of course, go over and just stay in chat if you want to go there. But you can also go there to find our next show over on Marfoogle TV. We're going to be live here in just a moment over on Marfoogle TV, our sister channel. So you can get there by staying in the chat. You'll be ported right over. Or you can just hit the button right here. All right, you guys. Also in the description, you have a full bibliography of sources I'll talk to you more about what just happened in the last 24 hours right over there. We'll see you in just a minute. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. Breezy. Now that